Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, one of my favorite topics, of course, is to talk about how do you prosper and grow your business in really one of the roughest economies in modern economic history. You almost have to go to the Depression to find a situation comparable to this. But there's companies out there that are making companies succeed regardless of the economic environment. And one of those is Baker Communications, and they're great friends over there at SalesForce.com. Welcome to the program, Lin Fisher. How are you?
I'm doing great, Kevin. So good to be here. How you doing?
Good, thanks. And, of course, Lin is with the folks at Baker Communications, and he's often in when Walter's not. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest today?
You bet. But first of all, before I introduce our exciting guest, I just wanted to frame up that today we're going to be talking about the social enterprise. And, we've been in a series that has been talking about specifically igniting a social, mobile, and open enterprise. And that's particularly important for us because, in this shifting landscape of technology, and not just technology, but how people are getting things done, how we're all doing business together. Salesforce is really at the center of that, revolution and of that movement, right along with a number of other types of players like Facebook and LinkedIn. But Salesforce is doing something different for business people. And, today we've got, as I mentioned, Scott Holden on the phone, and he's the Senior Director of Product Marketing for Sales Cloud. And, Scott, welcome to the show, first of all.
Great to be here, Lynn. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you bet. And actually, this is the second time we've had you on the show, so
yes, it is.
Thanks so much for coming back. And, I have to announce one quick thing, Scott, and you and I were talking about this earlier offline, but congratulations. Forbes just recognized Salesforce as the #1 most innovative company in the world. Congratulations.
Wow.
That's really amazing.
That is amazing.
Thanks very much. Yeah, that just hit the wire this morning, and we're obviously thrilled about it. Thank you.
You bet. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, why is Salesforce so noted as such an innovative company, and what's really driving that whole, social revolution around chatter and things of that nature?
Well, I think you mentioned it, Lynn, is that this concept of the social enterprise, and what does that mean? And really, we've been going around talking to our customers and kind of talking to the world about this vision we have for how to transform companies into social enterprises. And I think the backstory on that is that we're all kind of wrapped up in our personal lives and really what we've been calling a social revolution. I mean, there's billions of tweets that are happening a day out on Twitter. Everyone that has a Facebook account, and if you look at some of the massive trends, they all point to us spending more and more time in these social networks and on these social media sites. And so I think a lot of us feel it in our personal lives, but it's having a radical impact on our businesses. And so our vision for a social enterprise is really about how to take all these changes in the social world and make them applicable to your business and turn them into really a competitive advantage for your company and how you effectively go to market.
Exactly. And just a quick point of clarification. A lot of people think about the social term as I'm outwardly social to the world. Interestingly enough, what I think Salesforce has done is reinventing and pushing the envelope on being social internally. I think really that's where the most value, we personally at Baker use Chatter, and we use it really effectively, but I don't think a lot of people realize that it's what you do inside your company as much as what you do externally that's just as important.
Yeah. I find that absolutely phenomenal because it does create a congruency, if you will, for any type of company, be it one where they have a lot of virtual employees or one where everything's done internally. It's kind of the thread for communication, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, if you look at everything that's happening out there today, if you look at what's going on with this social enterprise concept, there's really kind of three parts to it, three steps that I think are pretty simple to follow. One is that, we've all got these social personas out there. And, if you're a company trying to sell into a person or a company, understanding who that person is out across all these different social channels is important. And we call that step one, understanding your customer's social profile. And then step two is kind of understanding everything that's happening out there on the public social networks, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the blogs, YouTubes, etc. And then step three is really connecting your company and creating a private social network inside your company that essentially levels the playing field. If the whole world's gone social, and you can see the stats now about just how much time people are spending on social networks in their personal lives and out there on the web, what's happening inside our companies, and why don't we have these same tools that have proven to be so effective at sharing information? Why don't we have them inside our companies? And so that's really our vision, that those 3 steps to basically giving companies all the tools that they need to compete and engage with those customers where they are out there on the social web.
So what would you say to people who challenge Chatter and this whole notion of the social enterprise by saying, hey, it's just text messaging for CRM, what's the big deal? Like, what do you say to those types of people? Because a lot of people out there just haven't gotten their arms around it yet, and it's not that and I've heard this from some people, and I've had to explain it from my perspective, but, how do you explain it from your perspective?
Yeah, sure. So it is... Chatter is a brand new collaboration application from Salesforce, and you can actually test it out for free if you want at chatter.com. It's a free application. But where I think it really starts to differentiate versus anything else that you're going to see out there in the market is that it's not just a standalone collaboration application. It can also be completely integrated into your business process. And so whether you're in sales, you're in customer service, marketing, finance, you can basically bring all of the different processes that you're running today into this new collaboration environment, into this social collaboration environment that's become so popular out in the social web. And I'll give you just a couple of examples of that. So the kind of number one thing that stands out with Chatter is that it pushes information to you. It's a whole new paradigm for interacting with business applications where the things that you care about most get pushed to you. So you don't have to go hunt around in the application for what you need to know. When something changes, you get an alert about it.
Right.
And then number two is this idea of bringing people and information to life inside the application and creating collaboration in context. So, people don't just collaborate around, random things. They collaborate on things like deals and customers and customer cases and marketing campaigns. And so by having the collaboration built in right on the deal that you're working on or right on that campaign that you're trying to execute and having everyone in the company on the same page, there's dramatic increases in productivity. And some of the stats, Lynn, to just kind of echo what you said, we've seen across our customers a massive improvement in a couple of key areas. 30% less email, 34% increase in productivity, and a 50% increase in finding information. And so there's a bunch more. That gives you a flavor. It's really changing the way people work inside their companies today.
Scott, I want to ask you real quick, and it'll be the last question for us today. It goes so fast whenever we have you guys on. But kind of tell us really how do you quantify that? What is the source of that research for those findings? Because they're startling. They're astounding.
Yeah, well, we've now got, Chatter has been our most successful product ever, and we've now got over 80,000 companies using it across the different companies using Salesforce. So, almost all of our customers today are using Chatter, and we survey our customers twice a year. And so those stats are actually average results from our customers who are using Chatter today.
And they're spending money on it, so they're definitely going to tell you the truth, that's for sure. Fantastic information. That's SalesForce.com. Make sure you look for Chatter when you're there. SalesForce.com. Plus, you got a big event coming up here just a matter of about a month or so with Dreamforce.com right around the corner. I'm looking forward to being a part of that with the folks at Bigger Communications. Lin Fisher, fantastic job as always, my friend.
You bet. Thanks so much, Kevin, for having us.
You bet. And so we're looking forward to that. And I believe we're going to continue to be focusing on the big event Dreamforce in future programs here on The Price of Business, which is on Talk 650, the talk station.